Welcome back to another resin video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but the last one I did was for Kaching, and this is going to be a part 2 to that because originally I was doing it for Cyno back then, but I got shafted for the anniversary. But I finally have him now, and it's gonna be a lot of fun putting together a build for him with those artifacts. My Kaching has actually changed since that video as well. I do have a better set than I did at that time, and that's how Genshin is. Your artifacts always change over time. I have a nice Thundering Fury 4-piece set still, but overall I'm still able to have a really solid Kaching build, and I'm really happy with it. I have 45 crit rate and 206 crit damage, which is not bad at all. Of course, the crit rate goes up to 60% with her kit, giving you the extra 15%, so it's actually not too bad, especially because I don't have the 5-star weapon for her. This is also going to be my first resin video where I actually have a 5-star weapon for the character, since I got really lucky with Cyno and his weapon banner. So this is going to be a big help for the build because it gives me more flexibility. Since I have a lot of crit rate on there, I can focus on the important thing like crit damage and elemental mastery to really have a solid build for him. So this is going to make it so much easier. I'm going to be breaking this into 2 different sections: Gilded Dreams, which is a set that I don't have full yet, and then my Thundering Fury set, which I will be taking pieces from Kaching but also mixing and matching something else, Electro Goblet especially, to go ahead and get a build. This way I'll have 2 solid choices for 2 different builds, and it'll also just make it more fun to roll these artifacts. We're gonna start with the flower here, of course, and I do have a few options now. Because I have a crit rate weapon, I want to focus on crit damage and elemental mastery substats, especially for the Gilded Dreams set. Even though I am getting a boost of 80 from the 2-piece set, I want to focus on those substats, so hopefully we can get that. Some crit rate would be nice as well. Crit rate and crit damage would be great, but we'll level this one up first, and let's see if it's gonna give me something good. Come on, give me some crit. There we go. That's a crit damage boost right there. All right, let's go. One more roll of that and some elemental mastery, and I think we'll be good. That's a good start, honestly. It sucks that we don't have a crit rate on this. It ended up giving us HP, but come on, let's see. Is it gonna give me another crit damage roll, or is it gonna roll into the EM? Let's see. Come on, elemental mastery. Let's go. We actually did get it. Yes. All right. Now I want this to roll to at least 20 for crit damage. That'd be great. Hopefully it doesn't roll into attack percent or anything like that. That's not what I want. Wow, another EM roll. Okay, that's a very high piece. All right, let's go. Now let's see if it's gonna roll. If it rolls into crit damage again, this is gonna be an amazing piece, man. Wow. Okay. I mean, the crit rate, I really wish I had some on here, but if it rolls crit damage again, this will be a solid flower for this set. All right, what's it gonna be? It landed crit damage. Yes, let's go. Okay, that's a great start. Yes, that's a great piece to start off this video with. I am very happy with that. What else can I ask for? It was no wasted substats at all. It literally went into crit damage and elemental mastery. That's amazing. Wow, what a flower. The next flower is this one with crit rate. Oh, it gave us elemental mastery. Okay, I was hoping for some crit damage. Maybe I'll get rid of this piece and just move on to this one. This one has some crit damage and elemental mastery. Okay, yeah, let's roll this one and see what we get instead. Maybe this one will be pretty solid too. All right, 2 rolls. Let's see. Oh, crit. Oh, it rolled into crit rate and we got the crit damage. Okay, wait, hold on. This might be a solid piece right here. There's no elemental mastery though. Come on, crit damage. Oh man, no, it went. Oh, that crit rate though. Look at that crit rate, 14%. Okay, but that defense roll, no, that's a shaft, man. I got shafted so hard. If it would have went into crit damage at least once instead of the defense right there, this would have been an amazing piece. Dang, man, that crit rate is insane though. Honestly, that's pretty good. So it's between that one and of course the other one, which has crit damage and elemental mastery. I think it's a pretty obvious choice if I'm being honest. I mean, if it came down to it, if I needed more crit rate, I could use that piece, but this one is very solid with no wasted substats pretty much. Moving on to the feather, I have a lot of options here that I can go ahead and use. Even though I have a solid one already, I want to try to get some elemental mastery with some crit rate or some crit damage. Maybe one with crit rate would be more ideal since I didn't have any on my first piece. We can go ahead and level up something like this. All right, let's see. Energy recharge. Are you kidding me, man? It could have been crit rate. It could have been crit rate. That's rough. That sucks. Okay, we'll see what else. Let's see what else they're gonna go ahead and give me. I'm gonna try to do this one now with the crit rate. And let's see. HP again. EM though, it did roll into EM. Okay, that's not horrible. If we could get a high crit rate, it might be a solid piece that I could use. Oh, it did. Okay, it did roll crit rate to 10%. All right, it's not as crazy as the 14% I had earlier, but 54 elemental mastery on top of that, that's not bad. That's not bad. So I have two options here. The one I've already had with some crit damage, but that HP is kind of wasted, or this one with elemental mastery and 10% crit rate. Could have been a lot better, especially if it had crit damage, but honestly, we'll see how it is at the end of the build. If I'm lacking on crit rate a little bit, even with the weapon, I can go ahead and throw this on. If not, I can go ahead and use the one with some crit damage on it instead. Moving on to the sands, I'm probably going to skip over this because I don't have a good onset one. This is the only EM one I actually have, and as you can see, it's already looking pretty bad. So this is the piece that I'm most likely going to be using offset for, especially because with his signature weapon, I would rather have elemental mastery sands than an attack sands to begin with. So I'm probably just going to look elsewhere to borrow an EM sands from another set. But this leaves me open to having an electro damage onset goblet, and this one isn't horrible. It's not amazing, but the only alternative electro damage goblet I have is 20% crit damage, whereas this one has 40 elemental mastery and 16.3 crit damage. And then that brings us to the circlet, which of course I'm going to be using crit damage, but I do have a crit rate one that I can go ahead and roll and see what it gives me. Maybe I could walk away with crit damage, it'd be nice. Of course, it's HP. It's always HP. Why not? I'm not surprised. But like I said, it's fine. We want to use crit damage. I already have a crit rate weapon, so crit damage circlet is an obvious choice here. And that's gonna do it for my 4-piece Gilded Dream set, but let's see how I did. The only offset piece, like I said, is the sands. Using an onset goblet is definitely interesting, and some of these pieces could be switched out, but let's see. Starting with the flower, I do have crit damage of 21 or crit rate of 14 to choose between, but I think I'm going to go ahead and choose the elemental mastery 61 piece. And then moving on to the feather, I have this one with the crit rate of 10 and the elemental mastery of 54. I think that's the obvious choice, honestly, because that elemental mastery again, and the high crit rate since I'm missing it on the first piece. But I do have access to an elemental mastery sands now, which I'm borrowing from my Thunder Fury set, and this one is actually pretty cool because it has 18 crit damage, but it could be a lot better. It could have crit rate, but for now this is the only other EM that I could really use, so I'm gonna grab it, which allows me an electro damage onset goblet. And like I said, this is the only one I have, so it's the one that I'm gonna use. And again, I could always switch this out later, but onset's going to be kind of hard to replace. And then the crit damage circlet, of course, I'm using because that's the only one that should be. And altogether, I think this is going to be a solid build, especially because I have the 5-star Staff of the Scarlet Sands. It's going to be looking nice. So my final stats are 65, 206. It's not bad at all, especially when you take into consideration that only like one of those pieces has a high crit rate on it. That weapon definitely came in handy for sure, and I could definitely make the pieces better. But what's amazing is I actually have 420 elemental mastery from this, so that's actually a really good EM for Cyno, to be honest. So this turned out to be a pretty nice set. The Thundering Fury set. Now I already have a solid 4-piece set from my Kaching video, like I said, so I'm probably going to be borrowing some aspects from that. Feather, especially because I have this one and this one. I have two solid crit damage ones with elemental mastery, so it just depends, but I think one with crit rate would be a little better, which I do have some options. I have this one which splits it down the middle, crit rate of 10, crit damage of 10, but this one is better, I think, because it has such a high crit damage value. 27, that's not bad. That's really not bad. Even though it's only 3 crit rate, it's honestly solid. Again, just like my other feather for Gilded Dreams, I'll see how my stats are at the end, and then if I need to switch it around, I always can. But honestly, I think that I'm gonna go with this feather here because this has some solid crit damage. I just wish it had some elemental mastery on it. That would really make it better. And I am going to be using the same EM sands that I showed you guys. I do have some attack percent ones, but like I said, I really don't want to use that with signature weapon Cyno, so I'm probably just going to use the one that I had from my Gilded Dream set, but this time it'll be on set instead of offset. Although I do have this attack one with 14% crit rate, but with the weapon, I really don't need it. It's better on Kaching because I don't have a signature weapon for her. And this time around, I'm using an offset goblet instead of the sands. I'm switching it around. I'm still using the same damage bonus goblet that I'm using in my Gilded Dream set though. And I actually have a lot of circlets, but only one of them is crit damage. This one I'm probably just gonna roll to see what I could get. It's a crit rate with some crit damage on it. Let's go ahead and see what this is gonna give me though. Elemental Mastery? Ah, man, another HP. Ew, and it rolled into defense. Ah, that's disgusting. Yeah, we're throwing this piece away, man. we're not using this. So this is my 4-piece Thundering Fury set. Obviously, it's pretty much opposite of the Gilded Dream since I'm using an offset Goblet and an onset Sands. But I think that this is still going to be very nice, especially because it's taking elements from my Kaching one, the leftovers that were always meant to be for Cyno back then, and using some new pieces. So overall, I have 64 crit rate, 226 crit damage, and 322 elemental mastery. This build is extremely similar to my Gilded Dreams one. The only difference is my crit rate is literally 1% lower, my EM is 100 lower, and my crit damage is 20% higher. So honestly, I think the Gilded Dream set is still better, but I'm gonna let you guys choose. I'm gonna have both builds up on screen and on my Twitter if you guys want to check that out too. But go ahead and let me know which build you would use. Would you rather use the Gilded Dream set, or do you think the Thundering Fury set is amazing as well? I think it's cool to have 2 builds. I've never had that for a Resin video. I think it's definitely because his 5-star weapon allows that. But yeah, let me know which build you guys like more and would use on my Cyno. And yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This was a really fun Resin video. I'm gonna be making more videos soon. Don't worry guys, I'm back. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about my build and how is your Cyno build if you have them. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.